Hey everybody, welcome to the FDA and 510K, the Reckoning Part 2. In the last video, I don't mean to sound too ominous, but I talked about how the FDA is a sprinter, is a marathon runner as opposed to a sprinter, and so they will execute their mandate to protect the American people and to punish those who have tried to violate the regulations with respect to medical devices and importing them under dodgy 510Ks. In this video, I'm going to try to predict, and also I've received some information on how they're going to do that. If you're anything like me, and I was before I met my wife, who is Thai, in law school, I didn't really know the difference between Taiwan and Thailand. I had spent a little bit of time in Japan, but didn't really had a very U.S. focused view of things. But you need to understand, what Thailand is, and Vietnam now to a large extent, and how they factor in, and how the U.S. factors into their world, and how we factor into the U.S.'s world. The relationship between Thailand and the U.S. Goes back to the 1800s, Civil War. An anecdote that people like to share is that the king of Thailand at that time, Siam at that time, offered to Abraham Lincoln to send over some battle elephants to participate in the Civil War. And it's probably, and I'm sure it was a serious offer, although Abraham Lincoln declined the offer, probably maybe or maybe not wisely. I don't know how you're going to get elephants over at that time. And then it went on, and the next big occurrence in the relationship between Thailand and the United States was during the Vietnam War. Right, during the Vietnam War, or the U.S. War, as the Vietnamese call it, Thailand supported the war effort, right, of the U.S. in that time. And in fact, the Udon Thani airport used to be a U.S. air base where they would launch missions from, and now it's given. So that would be the next one. But the one that's relevant to what's going on now and what I think will be going on later is in the 80s. Right, in the 80s, the AIDS epidemic hit Thailand really, really hard. Okay, and at that time, the Ministry of Public Health, which is like the HHS of Thailand, collaborated with certainly the AFRIMS, which I don't know the acronym, but it's a Navy, very well-respected Navy health organization that helped. They collaborated for 35 years plus now, maybe closer to 40 years, first with the AIDS epidemic and battling that, and then every other single aspect. So the health systems of Thailand and the U.S. are closely linked with an extensive relationship, and not to mention the U.S. military and government relationship in Thailand. It's an extraordinarily strong, long-lasting relationship, which means there will be intergovernment G2G collaboration in any action that the United States would like to take with respect to, well, I wouldn't say any action, but most actions such as factory inspections, auditing, that sort of thing that may go on here once the pandemic calms down. And so that will be getting to the bottom of the fraudulent registrations, fraudulent 510Ks, misbranded, mislabeled medical devices.